Taking a live look outside over Denver and the mountains. This is from our Four Seasons camera this morning. We are sitting pretty good, pretty comfortable out there for a morning in February, but it's not feeling like it should. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lauren Scafidi. Let's send things on over to Weather Impact Team meteorologist Jaden Knowles. Jaden, I know there was snow in that 7-day forecast. So I was very happy to hear that this morning.
The possibility of snow, Lauren.
I'll take it.
Hey, let's clarify that. That's going to be coming on Friday, but the next couple of days, no precipitation in my forecast. Lots of sunshine, and that is exactly what we're seeing so far for the start of this morning over towards Kim in the Eastern Plains. Look at all that sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, and that's really what this Saturday is shaping up to be like. The mid-40s is our current temperature. Look at the airport already at the upper 40s. We're going to warm up rather quickly, already in the 60s by 10 a.m. this morning. Current temperatures across the entire state. You can see a little bit warmer down towards Colorado Springs. You're at 53 degrees, 37 in Ray, 45 currently in Burlington. And satellite and radar, really not much going on. We're seeing dry conditions, and that's going to be the main story as we head into this afternoon. So here's your motorcycle forecast. If you want to take the bike out today is definitely the day to do it because lots of sunshine, calm winds across the metro area. We're going to have 69 degrees. That's what's forecasted for this afternoon. But later on in the show, we'll talk more in details about our next storm chances as we head into next week. Lauren?
Jaden, thank you so much. Keeping up with breaking news this morning, the U.S. and Israel launched airstrikes on Iran's military and political leadership on Saturday while calling for civilians to rise up against the government. This triggered Iranian strikes against Israel and other American bases in the region. Here's a map of where the strikes have hit Israel and U.S. military bases in the Middle East. They cover United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Qatar, to name just a few. And here's some ground footage of some of the strikes' damage in Iran. Iranian state media has reported explosions in central Tehran. You can see smoke just billowing from buildings and filling the horizon there. Wow. Iran's foreign minister says the supreme leader is still alive as far as he knows. NBC News has not independently verified this claim. Iran's foreign minister explained that his nuclear program is peaceful, but what he won't give up is the right to enrichment.
We are prepared to do everything in order to prove that our nuclear program is peaceful and would remain peaceful forever. What we are not prepared for is to give up our right. We are not giving up our right, including for enrichment.
Of course, this is something that our newsroom is watching very, very closely this morning. So we will be sure to stay on top of this breaking news and bring you any updates as they come in. Legally illiterate. That's how ICE officials are describing Denver Mayor Mike Johnston's latest executive order against ICE agents. The executive order, signed Thursday, bans federal immigration agents from city property like buildings, parks, and rights of way. It also directs Denver police to protect peaceful protesters near ICE operations and investigate the use of excessive force by federal officers. Mayor Johnston was asked about the order again yesterday.
We get questions from residents every day about what will happen if we see the kind of forces of troops descend on Denver that they saw in Minneapolis. And I think what our residents want to know is that any law enforcement officer that operates in Denver will be transparent, will be accountable, and that the rule of law still applies.
Despite the order, a DHS spokesperson says local officials don't have the authority to stop ICE from carrying out immigration enforcement operations on public property. A new bill to regulate so-called ghost guns in Colorado. Lawmakers are working to regulate the sale of gun barrels, which can be paired with 3D printed parts to make a complete firearm. The new proposal would require gun barrels to be purchased or transferred through a federally licensed firearms dealer. That would subject those sales to a background check and minimum age requirements. Gun advocates at the Capitol argue regulating sales of gun parts would make it harder for legal gun owners to maintain their firearms. They also oppose a provision in the bill requiring firearm dealers to keep a 5-year register of their sales.
This incremental expansion of regulatory creep, risks turning routine maintenance and lawful ownership into a bureaucratic maze.
There are more places to legally purchase a firearm in the United States than there are Starbucks and McDonald's combined as a firearm barrel and is sold to the public. It does not ban the sale, but it does regulate that sale must be done in person with an FFL.
Under the bill, unlawful sales of gun barrels would be considered a misdemeanor. Unlawful purchase of a gun barrel would be a civil infraction. The bill still needs to pass the final vote in the Senate before it heads to the House for debate. Despite dangerous fire conditions we've been having lately, South Metro fire rescue crews made quick work of a brush fire that was in Parker on Friday. The flames burned about 8 acres before being contained within 1 hour. Officials say the fire sparked in an area that had multiple homes under construction. There's still no word on what caused it. Colorado State Patrol is investigating a deadly crash involving a dump truck and a bicyclist. It happened around 11 a.m. on Friday in Niwot, near Highway 119 and Niwot Road. CSP says the man on the bicycle was pronounced dead at the scene. They're now investigating the cause of this crash. Highway 119 was closed briefly while troopers investigated. A Westminster man will serve 42 years in prison for the murder of a 23-year-old woman in her Denver apartment. This happened in 2024. Ernest Cunningham was convicted in December of second-degree murder for shooting and killing Kelsey Roberts. The arrest affidavit showed that he had previously threatened Roberts' husband after being fired by him. 9 News Investigates reported on Cunningham and its at-risk series about people on parole having risk assessments changed. He was on parole from a 20-year sentence for burglary when he murdered Roberts. The YMCA facility in Longmont will officially end fitness operations. It's happening at noon today. Officials cite the loss of federal funding and not enough full-paying members. Child care programs will continue, but the gym memberships are going to end. The city of Longmont is exploring whether it could acquire the facility, but officials say that there are some safety concerns. No agreement has been reached as of now. Community members, though, they say this is a big, big loss.
My wife Catherine and I met in this pool right behind us 30 years ago. A little depressed, sad.
Sad, we're sorry.
YMCA of Northern Colorado says otherwise across the country are struggling as well. A bill to regulate pesticides failed to move forward this week. There was bipartisan opposition to the proposal as lawmakers debate the health risk of continued pesticide use and the benefits that pesticides provide to farmers. The bill would have required farmers to get approval from a state-approved auditor before using seeds treated with pesticides called neonics. Farmers argue that using those treated seeds are an environmentally conscious alternative to spraying entire fields with pesticides. Environmental advocates say the pesticide-treated plants still harm pollinators like butterflies and bees, and that there are still public health impacts when the pesticides leach into groundwater. The Democrats who voted against the bill said that they're not regulating neonics, but that the bill just needs some more work.